Aaron, what did you think of your leadoff hitter today, really on both sides of the ball?
Well, incredible. First off, being I think the first catcher to lead off for the Yankees, which is pretty special, and then for him to go out there and give us an early lead with that swing, it's just, we've been seeing it all spring. The guy came into camp ready to go, had an impressive spring training, and then he just continued on into today. Like you said, on both sides of the ball, and he took some tough hits there, but blocked some great balls. Really set the tone for the whole day for us.
All the way to the right, first row.
Aaron, congrats on the win. Nice suit, by the way.
Thank you.
Continuing with Austin in the clubhouse, he said that something that inspired him today was having to bat ahead of you. What is just your reaction to that?
That's great. That's great to hear. He don't need to worry about anything. He just needs to go out there and do his thing. Like I said, Wellesley had a fantastic spring training, even going all the way back to January, February, working out with him. My man was focused and hungry and ready to go. We were talking throughout the off season. He came in, wanted to make a couple swing changes, work on a couple things, and it's just paid off the past couple months. So I'm just really excited and proud to watch him do his thing this year. I know we've been hit with quite a few injuries and a couple setbacks to start the year, but I'm excited about our young guys and what they're going to do. And Wells, Volpe, Jazz, Dominguez, all those guys are going to be a big part of our future and our success this year. And it was cool to see those guys, jump off to a good start.
And then just fast forward to the 7th, you had that RBI double that felt like just sparked the offense. Your thoughts on just this new look lineup and your takeaways from the offense today?
Takeaways, Peralta's one of the best pitchers in the game, and be able to kind of wear him down. He got out of a couple tough jams. I know we got a couple runs early, but he, pitched his butt off to give himself a chance there. And, just up and down the lineup, I feel like even the guys, if they struck out, grounded out, did something, they still made them work. Still got to a 2-2 count, 3-2 count. Made them make some tough pitches. We got a chance to see a couple of their lefty back-end guys there a little bit. So, like you said, it's we got a younger team, a quicker team, but just professional at bats. 1 through 9 today.
Gary, front left.
You mentioned Volpe. What have you seen from him offensively going back to last October?
His timing. I think that's been the biggest thing I've noticed from his time in 23 getting called up. I think he just has better timing. He looks comfortable in the box. He's aggressive. He's attacking. And I feel like when you're aggressive in the box, that's when you really start to, take those tough pitches. He had some great at-bats, laying off some tough pitches, and I think it starts with just having that mindset of going up there, being confident, and taking your swing.
Bruce, front right.
Aaron, what was this like for an opening day to win in this fashion? There was exhilaration. It was heart-stopping at the end. How would you describe this win?
It was a great win. Like you said, all around from the very beginning. Carlos going out there and giving us a shutdown first inning. Wellesley coming up, giving us an early lead. The place was rocking. Some great defensive plays. They're a quick team, so it's kind of tough to turn two, but Jazz made some great plays at second base. It was a great win. And all of a sudden you go to the 9th inning. You got a guy that just got traded from a team and goes out there and the toughest 3 outs in the game are the last 3, and to do it against your former team, the team that knows you, that was impressive. So I know he probably wasn't happy with some of the walks or what happened, but at the end of the day, he got to save, he got to win, and time to get ready for Saturday.
Ron, and then pass it behind you, please.
Over the last 4 years since you first met Wells, what have you learned about him as a person rather than as a player?
As a person, he's just the ultimate team guy. It's been fun to see him, even as a rookie. He fit right in this team. He was comfortable. He was joking with us. He was having a good time, but he's always been about the guy next to him. And I think that's where, hearing the comment about, I just want to, I'm just excited to hit in front of me. Like, that just speaks volumes of what type of person he is, man. He's, one of the best catchers in the game, and he's got a bright future ahead of him, but he's always focused on the guys around him, trying to make his pitching staff better. Seeing the way that he's controlled his pitching staff over the couple of years has been cool. I know I kind of got on baseball there a little bit, but just he's just a great team player.
What was he first like when you encountered him, I guess, in 21 in spring training?
Yeah, he was just a young kid that was hungry, wanting to learn, wanting to soak up everything, wanting to be around all of us guys that were up in the big leagues already, and that's cool to see from a young guy. You know, some young guys think they got it all figured out, but he was the one that, you know, he had the talent, he had the tools, and, you know, he just wanted to see what we were doing and try to take anything he could.
Carlos, just how much added adrenaline was there out there, not only pitching for the first time of the season, but obviously here at home, opening day starter?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be back. It's been a little while, so it was nice to have the old faithful behind us again and to hear everybody in the stadium. And it was just electric as always here in the Bronx.
When Aaron was asked about your performance, he had mentioned how many different pitches you had used and smiled when he said he even brought out the sinker today. Just overall, how did you feel about your pitch mix?
Yeah, I thought Wells was great with the pitch calling. And, you know, for me, it's just we get a plan together. He calls the pitches, and I just roll. You know, there's not much decision-making on my part. You know, it's just we get in a rhythm. He calls the pitches, I throw, and we featured a lot today, and I thought he was great behind the plate.
That fourth inning, it seemed a little bit of a scary moment. Aaron said he wasn't worried. He thought maybe you were more mad, but just how are you from that? Kind of take us through that play.
Yeah, I was just more mad I didn't make the play. I think I got caught up on my left foot, and you know I know Sal's quick down the line. I finished off to my right. I think I did like a little 180 to get back, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a bang bang. So it seemed like I was slow getting out of that turn to get to first, and I was trying to pick it up, and I just lost some footing and looked real unathletic there. So yeah, I'm fine. I got a cherry on my knee, and I was telling Pettit, I was like, I haven't had one of those in 16 years, since high school baseball. So you know, I got dirty today.
In the middle and the back, Joe.
Carlos, you mentioned what Austin did behind the plate, but
Yeah.
what did it mean when he goes out there, first step out of the game, and knocks one out of the park, give you the lead there?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like he carried it over from spring training. He set the tone for us. I mean, a tough pitch to hit out too. I mean, Peralta made a good pitch up and in, and he makes a better swing and you know deposits it in right, and we're up 1-0. So I think he definitely set the tone for us, and we just ran with it.
Back to the right, Jeff on the wall.
Carlos, you got 15 swings on your sliders today and 9 misses. What makes your slider its most effective, and when do you know I got the good one today?
I think it's one of those things where, you know, I got to show it in the zone, and you know, prove I can throw it for a strike, and then they have to, when I start throwing it for strikes, they have to offer at it below, and I think a mix of the changeup, it kind of gets them in between, and then the sinker helps out as well, gets them off the four-seamer.
Peter, front row.
Hi, Carlos. You struck out Jackson Churio 3 times, only needed 11 pitches. Just obviously he's a really tough hitter. Just what kind of went into those battles and allowed you to get the better of him today?
Yeah, I mean, Jackson Churio, how old is he?
21.
I mean, he's a great hitter at 21 already. I mean, you saw last year, I think his second half, he really turned it on and made some adjustments. You know, it's not, I mean, he might have struck, I don't know how many times he struck out today, but, you know, it's the game of baseball, and he is a great hitter. I mean, you know, we respect him. You know, I'm offering off speed. I'm not throwing him. You know, I'm not attacking him with four seamers. He's, you know, I'm respecting him with other pitches. And you know, today I made some good pitches to him. I think all of us did, and it was just, you know, one of those turns for him that, you know, he'll turn the page. And I'm sure, you know, he's a great player. But you know, we were just better than him today.
Anyone else? Eric.
Carlos, you mentioned Austin behind the plate, and it was the first thing that Aaron mentioned when he was in here before you sat down. The 2 years you've been throwing to Austin, just what have you seen from him just defensively?
Yeah, I
The
think
framing, pitch calling, all of those aspects.
Yeah, I mean, his presence behind the plate, he brings a lot of confidence in who he is as a baseball player and as a person, but as a catcher, I mean, the presence he has and the confidence he has in what he does, you know. He's a guy that does his homework. He's a guy that spends, you know, the utmost amount of time here at the ballpark just preparing for the game ahead. And, you know, he's grown tremendously defensively, as we know. But, you know, I think the bat's really starting. I know it's one game, but I mean, he's got a good bat as well.
Mark, you have last one.
Carlos, most of your career, you were the fastball slider guy.
Mm-hmm.
You threw 6 different pitches today. Do you, with this whole kind of big repertoire, do you feel like hitters are maybe you're less predictable than you used to be?
I would definitely say for sure. You know, the scouting report on me in the last few years has been, you know, 4 seams up in the zone, sliders below. And I'm sure, you know, the plan as a hitter was to try to cover the fastball, push me down the zone, cover the fastball, and react to sliders. So I think, you know, the broadening of the repertoire and adding a few other pitches that move a little different and the change of speeds just it definitely makes it less predictable, especially the usage portion of it.